Did you know that you could use the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro to help fix your posture? Or that you could adjust the volume by simply tapping your ears? Or that you can have 9 unique controls for the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro that all work simultaneously? I'm going to show you guys how to do all of that, plus 7 other unknown features for these earbuds in this video. Let's start by setting up the 9 unique controls. You're probably all familiar with the first 3, which is a single tap to play pause, a double tap to skip forward, and a triple tap to skip back. To set up the other 6 controls, we're going to need to go into the Galaxy wearable application, which should have been installed when you connected your Galaxy Buds 2 Pro to your phone for the first time. If for some reason that application is not installed, just download it from the Google Play Store. To make this easier for you guys to follow, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So the first thing we're going to do is open up the Galaxy wearable application, and we're going to scroll down to where it says Touch Controls and tap the word Touch Controls. This will bring up a menu where you can enable or disable different controls, and the first thing you want to do is make sure that the double tap, triple tap, and touch and hold features are actually enabled. Once they're enabled, tap the touch and hold text. Now from here, you can set unique touch and hold commands for each earbud. So as you can see on my left earbud, I have that set to switch back and forth between active noise canceling and ambient sound mode. And the right earbud is set to do the same thing. But I can change the long press function for the right earbud to Spotify. And what this does is start a Spotify playlist when you long press the right earbud. Then if you long press it again, it'll switch to a different playlist. And in case you're wondering, if you tap the settings gear next to the sound controls, you get 2 extra options. So if you're someone that never uses the ambient sound mode, you could just have the long press function activate noise canceling or disable it. And the same is true if you don't use active noise canceling, you can just have the long press activate ambient sound or turn it off. So far we're up to 6 unique controls. Let's take a look at the next 2. To get to those, you're gonna have to go back 2 pages, then tap earbud settings, then labs, and enable double tap earbud edge. And what this is going to do is allow you to double tap the edge of the earbud to increase or decrease the volume. But if I put the earbuds in, you'll see that I can just double tap my ear instead, and that'll decrease the volume, decrease again, and the same if I tap the right ear, increase the volume, increase, and increase again. So it's a super easy way to increase and decrease the volume, and that brings us to 8 unique controls with the earbuds. So now let's take a look at the last one. To get to that, you're gonna have to go back twice more, then tap Bixby Voice Wake Up and enable this. This will allow you to activate Bixby with voice commands on your earbuds, even if you don't have voice commands enabled on either your phone or a Samsung smartwatch. Having Bixby voice commands for your earbuds is especially useful if you're in the middle of a workout doing something like bicep curls or maybe pull-ups or some other workout where your hands are all tied up and you're almost done with the exercise and you're just trying to power through that last little bit when all of a sudden the next song comes on and you have no idea how it got there, but it's some kid's Disney song and it's totally killing your motivation. In that case, you could just use the voice commands to quickly get to the next song so you could power through the rest of your workout. Further down this page, you see an option called Speak Seamlessly. And if you enable this, it allows you to say whatever command you want immediately after saying, because typically you'd have to wait for a tone after saying before you'd actually be able to say a command. Turning this on allows you to immediately say the command. So if you want to say commands even faster, definitely turn this feature on. Now that you've set up your 9 unique commands, let's go ahead and jump back a page. And towards the bottom of this page, you'll see an option called Neck Stretch Reminders. And if you tap this, you'll get an option to set up a reminder to do neck stretches after 10 minutes of having a bad posture. And if you tap the toggle to enable this, then the 3 dots in the upper right corner, you get the option to calibrate the earbuds. And what this will do is have you look down for a period of time, look up for a period of time, and look straight for a period of time so that the earbuds will know whether you're looking up, down, or straight, so it can more accurately tell you if you're having a bad posture. So if you're someone who has a desk job, I highly recommend turning this feature on. Once you're done with the calibration, back out to the main menu, then go back into Labs, and you'll see an option called Gaming Mode. Now, this isn't just for gaming. What this does is significantly reduce the delay between when you see something happen on the screen and when you hear it in the earbuds. Now, by default, there really isn't too much of a delay, and I don't have any issue watching YouTube videos and things of that sort. But if for some reason you do notice a delay, you can enable Gaming Mode to get rid of it. The one caveat with gaming mode is that it's not as stable of a connection. So that means if you move further away from your phone, you may get some choppy audio, whereas you wouldn't get that choppy audio if you had gaming mode disabled. So I'd personally go ahead and leave this off unless you start noticing an audio delay in videos that you're watching or games that you're playing. The next incredible feature on the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro is found right on the main menu for the Galaxy wearable application, and that feature is called 360 audio. And what this does is take any video that you're watching and give you full 360-degree sound, which is just incredible when watching an action movie. If jets fly by over above you, you hear them coming from behind you and literally fly over your head. The sound is just incredible. If there's explosions at the sides, you hear them at the sides. If it's behind you, you hear it behind you. It's literally 360 degrees above, below, anywhere, and it's just so mind-blowingly awesome. If you have the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro and you watch videos on your phone, you watch movies, you definitely have to try this. The one caveat with this is that while it works incredibly well for movies, it doesn't work that well for things like YouTube. And what I mean by that is that the 360 sound thing still kind of works, but it almost makes YouTube videos sound a bit echoey. So I personally turn it off for everything except for movies. And if you tap the words 360 audio, you do get an extra option called head tracking. And what this does is it makes the sound always sound like it's coming from the screen, even if you turn your head. So if I had the phone in front of me and I was watching a video on YouTube, it would sound like the person talking was directly in front of me. And if I turned my head, it would sound like the person was talking on my left. So that's a pretty neat feature, and it's definitely worth checking out just to kind of see how it works, but I don't know how often I would personally keep that feature turned on. And one quick bonus tip to get the best sound quality out of these earbuds is to go back to your main settings, then go to the earbud settings, then at the very top, tap equalizer, and switch that to dynamic. This will boost the bass and the highs just a little bit, and you'll end up with a much more full sound. So if you want the best sound quality, this is the way to do it. If we jump back into the earbud settings, you'll see another option called Seamless Earbud Connection. Now this should be on by default, but I don't think people understand how powerful this feature is. What it does is automatically switch the connection between your different Samsung devices depending on which one is closest and which one you're playing a video or music on. To demonstrate this, I'm going to grab my Tab S8 Ultra. Now right now, my earbuds are still connected to my Fold 4, and if I tap the play button on this song, I'll start hearing the song through these earbuds. But while this is playing, if I go ahead to the tablet and tap the play button here, the earbuds are automatically going to switch. You're going to see that notification right on the top, and you'll also be notified on the phone as well. And now I'm hearing the audio from the video. And if I want to start listening to the music again, all I have to do is tap the play button on the phone, and it'll switch right back over. And by the way, if you have a Tab S8, S8 Plus, or S8 Ultra, go ahead and check out my recent video where I covered the top 50 unknown features on the Tab S8 Ultra. I'll have it linked in the description if you're interested. Now let's jump back into earbud settings, and you'll see an option called Use Ambient Sound During Calls. This is an incredibly useful feature that turns on ambient sound while you're making a phone call to make it a lot easier to hear your own voice while you're talking on the phone. And this is especially useful to help you not talk super loud when you're on the phone and make it really awkward for everyone else around you because you can't hear yourself. So for the sake of you and everyone else around you, go ahead and turn this feature on. Speaking of having a conversation in public places, if we go back to the main settings page, the next thing you want to enable is called Voice Detect. And what this does is automatically enable ambient sound when you start talking. So if you're working in an office and someone comes over to you and asks you a question, you can just say something like, "Hey, what's up? What do you need?" And all of a sudden, your music volume is going to decrease considerably and ambient sound mode is going to turn on so that you can hear the other person. And if you tap the Voice Detect text, you'll get the option to have it remain on for 5, 10, or 15 seconds. So what that means is once you stop talking, ambient sound is going to remain on for either 5, 10, or 15 seconds, depending on which option you choose. But if you started talking again before the end of that time frame, it would reset the timer. So if you wear your earbuds at work and you work with a lot of other people, this is a great feature to enable. By default, a bunch of your notifications are automatically going to be read out loud in the earbuds whenever you have them in. If this is annoying to you and you want to turn off those notifications, or you only want specific notifications, you can go to the earbud settings, then tap Read Notifications Aloud, and from here, you can select which specific applications you want to enable it for. And if you tap See All at the bottom, you can tap the Read Aloud pull down and switch that to All, and now you'll see all the different applications you can get notifications from on your device. Now by default, this will only read those notifications out loud if the screen on your phone is turned off. If you want the earbuds to always read the notifications out loud, regardless of whether your screen is on or off, you can enable this toggle right at the top. The next two useful features are found in the earbud settings. then all the way at the bottom in the accessibility menu, and right at the top, you see something called left-right sound balance. And this is something that's incredibly useful for anyone who's partially deaf in one of their ears. So let's say I was partially deaf in my left ear, I can adjust the balance towards the left side, and that's going to give me a higher volume in my left earbud than my right earbud, allowing me to hear about the same volume between both my ears. Further down, you also get the option to enable noise controls with one earbud. Now, typically, things like ambient sound and noise canceling only work when both earbuds are in. And the reason Samsung says they do that is because some people may feel a bit of discomfort if they have that feature enabled and only one earbud in their ear. But if you do want these features enabled with just one earbud, this is how you do it. Backing out one page, the other option is to customize the sound of ambient sound mode. And if you tap the customize sound text, you get a bunch more customization options. And all the way at the top, there's an auto adjust sound option. And since I've already done this, it gives me my standard or customized options here, and it plays a little song in my ear for me to figure out which one I like the best. If I were to tap test again, it would take me through two different sound profiles and ask me which sound I preferred. Once I picked one, I'd be given another sound profile, and once I've selected that sound profile, I can tap next again, and now I'll have an auto-adjusted profile. Now, I personally didn't notice too much of a difference with this adjusted profile, but if you did, let me know down in the comments below. Once you have the Galaxy Buds connected to your phone and you have the Galaxy Wearable application installed, you'll be able to long press on your home screen, then go to the widgets page, then scroll down a bit further, and you'll see a new option called Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. And if you add this widget, you'll get the option to control the sound mode just by tapping within the toggle, and this does go through all three sound modes. And you also get the option to enable or disable touch input. Now, disabling the touch input would be especially useful if you're doing something like going for a run and you want to be able to adjust the earbuds without accidentally playing or pausing your music or skipping a track. One important thing to note about these touch controls is that even though the touch sensor doesn't work, you can still double tap your ear to decrease or increase volume. And if you own one of Samsung's Galaxy watches, you can also get a tile with these same two controls. For this next feature, I'm gonna have to take the earbuds out of my ears, put them in the case, and go ahead and close the case. So now that my earbuds are closed in the case, you can see in the application that they are no longer connected to my phone. Well, if I scroll down, you'll see that there's an option called Find My Earbuds. Now, this has been there with previous versions of Samsung's earbuds, but what's new with the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro is that Find My Earbuds now works even when the buds are in the case. Previously, the earbuds had to be outside of the case in order to find them. But now, if I tap Search Nearby, my phone is going to be able to find these earbuds even though the case is closed. One important thing to note about this feature is that when the case is closed, it may take up to 5 minutes to find the buds. And the reason for that is battery life. If the buds were always trying to stay connected to the phone, then you would have horrendous battery life. So they only try to reconnect maybe once every 4 minutes. That's frequently enough to allow you to find your earbuds, but long enough that you're not going to completely drain the battery. And once the case is found, I'll be given a meter telling me how close I am based on signal strength. And the further I am away from the buds, the weaker the signal is going to get. And as I get closer to the buds, you'll see that the signal gets much stronger. And once you know you're close, you can tap this little music icon, and it'll make the earbuds make a sound inside the case to make it easier to find them. When you first get your Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, pairing them to a new device is as easy as opening the case and waiting for the pop-up to appear on your phone. Then once the pop-up appears, just tap Connect. But after you've already paired to a device, if you want to then pair to something different, like maybe your desktop or laptop, then it won't be as easy as just opening the case. And Samsung recently changed how you unpair from one device and pair to a new one. Fortunately, the new process is super simple. All you have to do is keep the earbuds in the case and hold one finger on each earbud for a few seconds until the LEDs start blinking red, green, and blue. And just like that, the earbuds are ready to pair to a new device. While these unknown features for the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro are pretty useful, you'd still be missing out big time if you didn't check out this video over here, where I cover the top 30 unknown features that work on most of Samsung's flagship smartphones. And if you guys want to see more deep dive videos just like this, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss the uploads. That's it for this tech episode. God bless, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.